All right, our next bout, back to the guys in the welterweight division at 170 pounds. This one presented by OEB Law. It's Dalton, Georgia's Johnathan Blackwell taking on Knoxville's Tevin Brown from King's Muay Thai right here in Knoxville, Tennessee. This should be a lot of fun here at the Knoxville Civic Coliseum, and great to have you with us here live at flowcombat.com. Our main event still to come tonight, Jason King against Stephen Hague. We have a terrific pro MMA card in store for you here tonight. Our co-main event, Alex Riggs against Keith Olson, and many more very popular and legit fighters. All right, introduce our fighters. Here's Jennifer.
Our next bout of the evening is an amateur mixed martial arts bout in the welterweight division, contested at 170 pounds, brought to you by OEB Law. First, please welcome to the cage, Johnathan Blackwell.
Johnathan Blackwell first out, 1-1 out of Champions Ground Camp in Dalton, Georgia. Casey, tell us about Blackwell.
I will tell you this, the one thing that stands out the most about Johnathan Blackwell was that crazy bout with Austin Cox last year at VFW Fight Night. Of course, Blackwell comes out, lands that big head kick on Austin Cox. Blood goes everywhere. And it was absolutely one of the bloodiest fights I've ever seen in mixed martial arts fighting action. You know, Cox, he hung in there and made a war with Blackwell. It went all the way into the second round. Blackwell got the TKO finish and really proved how dangerous he is as a competitor. And I'm so excited to see him back in action here against Tevin Brown, who is, by the way, Rampage Jackson's little nephew. Rampage is his uncle.
That's unbelievable. We've seen Tevin Brown as well. Brown coming off of a loss to Josh Cumbie, but Josh Cumbie is a fantastic fighter, and then he had an impressive victory over Andre Gamble prior to that.
Right, absolutely, and you're exactly right. I think that Tevin Brown has also cut a bunch of weight off there. I didn't even really recognize him at the weigh-ins. He looks like a completely different guy. They say he's done a lot of cross-training, and of course King's Muay Thai has really taken him to that next level. And he's going to need it here against Johnathan Blackwell, who's also improved his skills a whole lot. This is one that could be a sleeper fight here and really take the energy to a new level.
Well, Brown's been at 185, so he's coming down from 185 to 170. And so you got to wonder how he's going to look in this one. Cross-trained at KMAA as well as King's Muay Thai both in Knoxville. And Johnathan Blackwell steps in to the cage. We go back to Jennifer.
And his opponent making his way to the cage, please welcome Tevin Brown.
Tevin Brown, 1-1, King's Muay Thai in Knoxville. Mentioned cross-trained a little bit at KMAA. What else stands out about the matchup between these two, Casey?
What stands out to me is that both like to sling leather. They like to bang. And that's what the fans come to see. That's what, it lights up the air. And when you get two guys that prefer to stand and bang, that can do it all, then you're going to get one heck of a fight. And like I said, the background of Blackwell, the background of Brown, it really makes for a good mixture.
Take a look at the tail of the tape in this welterweight bout presented by OEB Law. Johnathan Blackwell and Tevin Brown, both young fighters at 25. Both tall, but Brown 2 inches taller. Same record, identical at 1-1. Blackwell weighed in at 169. Tevin Brown at 172 for this 170-pound welterweight bout here at Valor Fights 47 at the Knoxville Civic Coliseum, live at flowcombat.com. Now the picks panel, which you can hear the Valor Hour, tremendous insight. We go through all of the fights and break down all of them, tell you about each of the fight, get a little preview, and get a feel for any emotion that comes into the fights, or the background of the fighters. It really is terrific. The Valor Hour with Tim Loy and Casey Oxendine, you can get on Radio Influence, and you can also get it on the Valor Fights Facebook page. But this was split down the middle, Casey. This was 3-3 with the panel of experts.
Yeah, really close, man. And all these experts, they've seen both of these fighters in action. And a lot of the times they're like, man, I don't know which way to go. And then they made their selection. So, again, that really sets the table for a potential fight of the night candidate right here.
Tevin Brown steps into the cage. Let's go back to Jennifer.
This bout is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. First, fighting out of the red corner, he weighed in at 169 pounds, holds a record of 1 win with 1 loss, and fights out of Champions Ground, Team Core 1 Fitness in Dalton, Georgia, Johnathan Blackwell. And his opponent across the cage to my left, fighting out of the blue corner. He weighed in at 172 pounds, holds a record of 1 win with 1 loss, and represents King's Muay Thai in Knoxville, Tennessee, Tevin Bad Time Brown. Your referee when the action begins is Barry O'Neill.
Barry O'Neill, our referee, and it's a welterweight bout presented by OEB Law. Johnathan Blackwell in the longer black trunks with the blue glove, with the red glove tape. Tevin Brown in the shorter black trunks with the blue glove tape. Blackwell in the red glove tape. Brown in the blue, and we're underway.
Oh, and here we go, right out of the gate. Big slam by Tevin Brown.
3 3-minute rounds in Knoxville. Goodness, what a start.
He's right in that position. I think Johnathan Blackwell, he's trying to do a lateral. He needs to watch, because if Tevin Brown knows the Von Flue choke, he can put the pressure on right away. You do not want to try to hold that guillotine, a traditional guillotine at least, when you're under crossbody.
There's the Von Flue choke made famous by Ovince St. Preux. Nobody does it better.
No, and it was originally Jason Von Flue, but now it's Ovince St. Preux, so they're calling it the St. Preux choke.
Right. He put out a training video on how to do it.
Oh, here it is. It looks like he's trying to lock it up.
It's a tough spot for Blackwell right now.
What a quick takedown by Tevin Brown.
Mm-hmm. Could see the athleticism. He looks good coming down to 172. Minute gone by in round number 1. Doug, what do you see early on?
Brown should continue to soften that right side up of Blackwell with those knees from side control. Those are very effective and very irritating and aggravating. So he should continue to do that. As long as he holds on to his head, he should continue to knee him until he decides to let his head go, because there's nothing there.
Exactly, and you're not going to get a stand up here. Tevin Brown has gotten the crossbody. That's a dominant position. He can sit here all day long. So Blackwell, it's going to be up to him to move and get out of there. Otherwise, he's going to drop this round for sure.
Head is out for Brown now, dropping some elbows. Nice defense by Blackwell as the corner alerting that Brown might try to step over in full mount. What do you want to see, Doug, from Blackwell to try to get out of this spot?
Underhook to his left side and try to come out the back to stand back up. He's not doing enough to get back to his feet. He's just holding on from the bottom, locking his arms around him, and he's just helping himself lose around. He really needs to try to stand back up.
It's a big physical guy that's been leaning on Blackwell for a good part of this first round.
Just wearing him down, zapping some of the energy out of him for the next round.
So now you see Brown posturing up. We're sliding up towards the head. Oh, got full mount. That was quick.
Tell you what, 10 seconds to go. Blackwell still in a tough spot here. Tevin Brown opens up. Ooh, big shot, just missed it.
Wow, oh, one very close to landing afterwards, but I think Brown missed on it and no harm done, but wow. Big first round for Tevin Brown.
Tevin Brown, yeah, and that's one thing is Blackwell. He's going to have to watch here. Can he come out as aggressive with his striking when he knows that Tevin is going to sneak underneath him and slam him like that? You see here the replay, Tevin Brown opening up here in the closing moments of the round, landing some shots on Johnathan Blackwell. Blackwell, of course, very, very tough. He's going to be good to go in this second round, but like I said, it can take some wind out of your sails when you have to worry about a takedown that's that quick.
Blackwell's loss was to Les Sandusky in his MMA debut. That was via UD, unanimous decision. And then, as Casey mentioned earlier, the victory over Austin Cox was an absolute bloodbath. Blackwell was able to survive and overcome some adversity. He is facing adversity here, likely down on the judges' scorecard. We'll start out on the feet, and We'll see if Blackwell decides he wants to stay there. They'll touch gloves, and we're underway in round number 2.
Again, still early in the night.
Blocked a little bit, but returned by Brown.
Nice inside leg kick from Brown.
You can see the leg difference in the size between the two athletes.
Well, you know, Blackwell doesn't seem as steady as he typically is. And it could have been, you know, he spent a lot of time under that crossbody and was stifled, you know. And you see a little bit of flush in his face there. And now Tevin Brown back to the mount position, a very dominant position.
That's a big, muscular guy on top of you. Look out.
Oh, yeah, here comes the ground and pound.
Wow.
Nasty shots here. Johnathan Blackwell, he is going to have to move or we're going to get stopped.
Oh, he's eating shots. And I don't know if they're finding a home.
And that's it. It's a done deal. Tevin Brown with the win.
Tevin Brown gets above 500, moves a 2-1. Dominant fashion over Johnathan Blackwell. My goodness.
That's right. Making Uncle Rampage proud.
You can see the physicality and just some viciousness, especially. He really unleashed it. He got an opportunity to with the ground and pound there at the end.
Well, you know, he trains with a tremendous camp there at King's Muay Thai. You see here, the finish, it's just, he was so strong. I mean, dropping that weight down to 170, I think that welterweight will be Tevin Brown's division here. He just looks spectacular and just way bigger than Johnathan Blackwell and so much more pressure.
Yeah, that kind of size, athleticism, boy, that's going to be tough for people. If he's able to make weight and stay at 170, I don't know that you're going to get many guys looking like that in the cage opposite him.
No, he looks great, a star of the future.
All right, we will go back to the cage and make this official. Here's Jennifer.
Your referee stops this bout at 59 seconds into the second round. For your winner by way of TKO to strikes, out of the blue corner, Tevin "Bad Time" Brown.